Yeah, I was looking at some words there which are mentioned in what we're going to be reading today to try and understand it a little bit more. As I said, it's very technical, but let's try our best. Let me,
Technical, you think we don't have the brain.
Oh, the realization. But still, let's try. It's fun trying to understand, even if we may not fully understand or comprehend what's being explained. But I just wait. There's one thing I did want to say. I'll just wait for more devotees to join. In the meantime, as far as I've understood, we are here where this yellow highlighted part is.
As the spirit, yes.
Yeah. So,
now because their timing's different, you don't know whether they know, which I did tell.
yeah, they're coming in now. The troops are entering. Hare Krishna. In the meantime, let's pray to Srila Prabhupada. Om Vishnu Krishna Vishnu Mati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pachaline Nivasesha Sunyavadi Vashtatara Satarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. All right, so just before we begin,
can I just ask you something quickly? Yeah. Can you tell everybody what you and Dan talked about?
I missed that. There was some interference there. Yeah, I didn't hear. I heard a little bit.
Yeah, the talks between you and Dalmore about the books we've done can be counted as.
Oh well, let's just wait there till everyone joins. Perhaps we'll mention that at the end. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So for those who are here in the beginning, the devotees are still joining. This what we're hearing about in this chapter 15 of Harinam Chintamani. What's being described is something called Siddhapanali. And this is where the very qualified spiritual master to a very qualified disciple, based on revelation, will assign a Sarup form to the disciple and give him the consequential meditation. Yeah, he will assign that meditation. Now, this is called Siddhapanali. And for example, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura apparently gave this to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's brother, Lalita Prasad, excuse me. And it was Lalita Prasad, Bhaktisiddhanta's brother, who Bhaktisiddhanta would, you can say in an affectionate, quote, perhaps critical way, would say, my Sahajaya brother. Because if we remember in our discussions on this from Sudha Bhakti Chintamani, there's quite in history actually, where Lalita Prasad actually disagreed with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's method of everything is revealed through the agency and potency of the holy name itself. So this was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's genius in feeling the pulse of the degradation of Kali Yuga and seeing the abominable degradation of the so-called, maybe some, but the so-called Radhakund Babajis. So the Siddhapanali process, although it's there, if you look into it, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this process to Ukeshwara Pandit, if I got the name right. So you'll find it there. But I just confirmed this in Sankapa Kaumudi. It's not as if in this present age there is a choice of Siddhapanali as a means to perfection and the holy name. The only means to perfection in this age is the holy name. Yeah. So what we're reading here will be realized through the potency of pure Nam, of pure chanting. Whereas otherwise it's written in the mood of Siddhapanali. You follow this? That it's something which is given by the spiritual master. But everything that is given is realized through the agent, through the holy name of the Lord. So I just wanted to make that clear if it wasn't clear that what we're hearing here is Siddhapanali, but it's not, it doesn't have any relevance today. And that was the genius of Bhaktisiddhanta, who was criticized by the Rabakun Babajis for not accepting this method. So that was, do you remember we had that discussion? That is a philosophical difference, a doctrinal, if that's the word, difference between the Radhakan Babajis and the followers of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Yeah. So just in case some of you are thinking of going to Radhakund and getting this Siddhapanali meditation, everything will be revealed through the holy name. Jaito Dapanam Marjanam Mahadavakni Nivapanam. Okay, I just wanted to make that little announcement before we begin. Okay, so let's begin and try and understand this as best as we can. Anyone like to read, beginning here, as the spiritual master?
I can read, but I wanted others to read because it's on the computer. Anybody else wants to read, please?
Any readers?
Okay.
If not,
I can read.
I can read.
Read.
Yes, you
Go
like.
ahead.
Guy, you read then.
Go ahead.
You want me to?
Or
Oh.
someone, anyone? Go for it. Whoever starts reading first.
Mother Lavanga reading? Or can I read?
Yes,
Okay, I can read. Can you hear me well?
very clear.
Okay. As the spiritual master discerns the pure inclination of the disciple's heart, the disciple will also disclose his own taste for the mellow or rasa to help the spiritual master. Until the pure natural intentions and mellow tastes are clearly sorted out, the spiritual master's instructions about them will not be unequivocal. Ruchi, or taste, is the natural propensity born out of concentrated sukriti, or piety. There are two kinds of piety, past sukriti and present sukriti. Those who are not attracted to the Sringara rasa, but prefer dasya or sakya, must receive pertinent instructions on these relationships in order to get the fruit of their devotion. Otherwise, they will return to a life of anarthas. The great soul, Shyamananda, at first was not aware of his own siddharuchi, or permanent spiritual mellow, and so he was made to embrace the sakya rasa, or the mellow of fraternity. Later, by the grace of Srila Jiva Goswami, he became entitled to perform bhajana in his real ruchi, or spiritual proclivity. This is a well-known story. O Lord Chaitanya, in your line of teaching on this subject, spiritual acumen and eligibility count above all else.
I think we better stop each paragraph just to try. And you can continue reading. I just pause for now. So let's just go back. Any questions about this here? I have a question myself. So we have that same process, is that these are real questions actually that hopefully one day we can be asking our guide, our spiritual master, Shiksha or Diksha Guru. As one is entering into the world of rasa, then one will feel there'll be particular, one will be attracted in a certain way. Now, in the beginning, it says here, the spiritual master's instructions about them will not be unequivocal. So unequivocal means, I think, precise. What happened there? Ambiguous, unmistakable. Okay. So I think at the beginning stages of bhava, there is a intuitive attraction, which may not be yet confirmed in all of its detail. That will come later. All right. So the spiritual master will give general guidance, and also devotional skills and particular type of sadhana to enhance their disciples' bhajan. Yeah. I didn't understand this. Ruchi or taste is a natural propensity born out of concentrated sukriti or piety. So this is a shakti. Yeah, it says ruchi, but also it's going into a shakti, which means that ruchi is so tasty, you become attracted to it, just like a iron filing is attracted to a magnet. There isn't much you can do about it. You just add automatically. It's called a shakti. But the piety here is not material piety. I don't think it is. It doesn't make the distinction. So sukriti here must be in relation to bhakti, or the adhikar, or the qualification. Yeah. Because it's not material piety that's going to lead to this level of absorption. It must be material, it must be spiritual. But it doesn't say that here, but we should assume it's not because the person's not tasting this level of, or not at this stage of a shakti in ruchi because they've opened hospitals, or they financed the digging of wells in Africa. No, they're not. That's material piety. All right. And yeah, anyway, what else could we say about this? There was any questions? The second paragraph. So Shringara Ras, can someone say what the Shringara Ras is? Shringhara.
Is that like decorating?
Well, yeah, that's the Sanskrit. You could, yeah. Shringa, that's a Sanskrit derivative of this word. I think you'll find it, but it does. It's not what it means.
Conjugal love.
Yeah, that's it. Conjugal love. That's it. Simple as that. This is a name that's sometimes given, just so you know where we're going. And I guessed it was that because that is generally, whenever rasa is spoken about in detail, generally Gaudiya Vaishnavas are going to be speaking about conjugal rasa. So they speak about Saki Ras as well to some degree. So this is conjugal ras. Yeah. So they prefer servitudeship or friendship. So they must receive instructions or read instructions there from Goswami's books or like that. So in other words, otherwise they will return to a life of anatas. So in other words, one has to be progressive. Otherwise, you'll go backwards. Yeah. So spiritual life is about being progressive. We should go forward. Then there's I don't know. I didn't have time to look up this story of Shamananda. I have a vague knowledge of it, but not enough to try and explain it here. Unless someone knows about the story of this is Shamananda Pandit. Seems like there's some pastime there where his attraction in fraternity was later directed, or he was later directed by Jiva Goswami to, in his real ruchi or spiritual proclivity, which I presume it doesn't say would be conjugal. So this is a well-known story that I don't know, and I think, does anyone know it out there? So not well known to us.
I just know that he found a bracelet, and there was some pastime with Radharani, and he returned the bracelet, and Radharani put a tilak on him with this bracelet.
Yeah.
And it's Shamananda. It's a special tilak. He has followers called the Shamanandis.
Yeah, that's it. Because he went into samadhi, isn't it? And he found Radharani's ankle bells, and she was very pleased with him. She put them on his forehead, and he came out of samadhi with this mark. And I think also, so he went, and there was some.
And they changed his name as well. I mean, previously he was Dukhi Krishna or something.
Yeah, that's it. So he was in another rasa. He was following another rasa, but after this incident, that he was inclined, he was shown the path to his actual Sarup, which was in relationship to Radharani. And it came to know of his spiritual master. His spiritual master came to know that he's got a different tilak and he's got a different name. So this meant reinitiation, and that's Maha Aparad. So then his spiritual master and a troop of other disciples went to find out what the hell's going on here. I heard you got a new name. So then it was explained how he got his new name and the different tilak. So they all took, I think I remember them, took the dust off his feet. So there was, and it says Jiva Goswami was involved. Interesting exactly how was in what way he was involved. I find it's quite fascinating, this history sometimes. If you dig around, there's something to find out here, Jiva Goswami. You know, exactly how did he get involved? Anyway.
His name was Dukhi Krishnadas, and he took initiation from Hriday Chaitanya.
Yeah, that's it.
And Hriday Chaitanya sent him to Vrindavan to learn the science of bhakti. And he came to Jiva Goswami to learn.
Okay.
And Jiva Goswami put him in charge of cleaning the
that's it. Yes.
Seva Kunj.
So yeah.
And he was cleaning the Seva Kunj, and he found this little nose ring or something like that.
Yeah, ankle bells.
The ankle bell.
Which was effulgent and filled him with ecstasy.
Yes. And later on, Lalita Sakhi came to collect that ankle bell, and Dukhi Krishnadas said, no, I will personally. He realized
that was it.
Radharani. So he said, I'll give him myself. So then Lalita took him to Yamuna. He had a dip in the Yamuna and came out as a gopi. And then he was taken to Radharani. And Radharani was very pleased with him, and put the tilak on his face, and then called him Shamananda from there on. So after leaving Golok Vrindavan, he came back into Yamuna, and he came back into Seva Kunj, and he was again the same person, but instead of being a Dukhi Krishnadas, he became a Shamananda. And the Vaishnavas were not happy, but he had gone to Jiva Goswami, because Jiva Goswami was his teacher at the time, and he said this happened. So Jiva Goswami said, keep it quiet, because all the Vaishnavas are not up to the straight to understand your position. So keep it quiet, I know it. And then the story started circulating, and Hriday Chaitanya left Bengal specially to come to Vrindavan to find out what was going on. And so when he was taken to Jiva Goswami confirmed that this was real and that Shamanand had not left him. And this only happened because Radha Chaitanya could only take him to the Sakhyaras, but Shamanand was supposed to go in the Madhurya Ras, and only Radharani herself could take him there. So
Jiva
she
Goswami.
presented him the Madhurya Ras.
Wow, thank
That's
you.
about it.
There you go. Thank you, Maharaj Kishore. You've told us that pastime very nicely. That was nice, wasn't it, everyone? Yes. Thank you, Mother. You know that story. Yeah, when you're saying the story, then now I can remember the details. Yeah, so that's it. See, so that's the involvement of Jiva Goswami. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Gaia Mother, you can read another couple of paragraphs. I think we stopped you quite
Sure,
early.
where did we finish?
Yeah.
The sadhaka. Yes, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
perhaps
zoom
we'll
in.
stop at each paragraph and try and make
Okay.
sense of it.
Sure. Thank you, Mother, for a beautiful story.
Yes.
And the
Credit goes
sadhaka
to my
has
Guru Maharaj. My Guru Maharaj said that story in one of the lectures. That's why I know it.
Yes.
that's amazing.
Thank you.
I missed the story.
Aha, you missed it. It's too late.
I know. I'll listen to it. Don't worry. I will
Listen
listen.
to it after. It's worth listening to. It's very fascinating. Mother Radha Kishore gives all the details of it. It's very nice.
Okay, I will listen to it.
Okay, carry on.
Okay. The sadhaka has his own swaruchi, or natural taste, as a gopi. Other ruchis, such as the acceptance of a husband, are falsely attached to this swaruchi before the sadhaka finally embraces the authentic ruchi. But by the grace of his spiritual master, the sadhaka nonetheless attains Krishna's service according to his natural ruchi in the parakiya rasa, or paramour relationship. Rasa can never come to a full bloom other than in the parakiya rasa. The summit of your teachings, O Lord Chaitanya, is that the parakiya attitude is permanent in the pastimes of the Lord, both in their appearance when Krishna descends to Rajabhumi and their disappearance into the invisible Braja of the transcendental world.
Okay, let's try and open this up. So first, anyone, can someone tell us what Parakiya rasa is? There's two words, Parakiya rasa and Swakiya rasa. Which one is which?
Swakiya is within the marriage, and Parakiya is having relationship outside the marriage.
Yeah, as a paramour. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I think here it says swa. The word here is swaruchi. In Bhagavad Gita, it's the word is. I just had it to mind. It might come to mind in a minute. It's not swabhava. Yeah, I think it's swabhava. That we have duties, etc., in relationship to our conditioned self. Yeah, the body and the family and the society, etc. And then we have also duties in relationship to ourselves as being a spirit soul. So Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita in one purport, he says that sometimes these duties clash. You know, in other words, your material duties will impede upon your spiritual duties. I'm sure we've all got experience of that. So mentioning here, for instance, other ruchis, the acceptance of a material relationship. Here the example is given as a husband. Yeah. But then our authentic ruchi, which is relationship to Krishna. So rasa can never come to full moon other than in the Parakiya rasa. Can anyone try to explain why that is so?
Full blossom, bloom, full bloom.
Yeah, in full bloom, Parakiya rasa.
Can never come to full bloom other than because that parakriya bhav is completely different. It's like you know, like when a boy and a girl meets without anybody knowing, it's all really like nice kind
Yeah,
of. But if the parents know and they come home and you meet, it's not the same, you know.
yeah, Paramiya, yeah, that's correct. So in other words, if you look at the other rasas, they're all perfect in of themselves, but the mellows of love reach its highest and most, you could say most, I don't know what exciting is, but it reaches its highest point in this relationship of parama love. So for instance, the degree that the gopis who have a parama relationship are absorbed in Krishna outshines the absorption even of Mother Yasoda and the suckers and Krishna's friends, to the degree difficult for us to comprehend because Mother Yasoda is pretty absorbed in Krishna. But the fact, but as Mother Chandravali said, that the pastimes and leelas that this parama relationship invokes, because it's according to Vedic standards, it's a forbidden love. So therefore, everything's parokshavad, everything is indirect and secret. So there's a whole load of wonderful, amazing pastimes that takes place in order that Krishna can meet Radharani or Radharani that can meet Krishna. And as we know, it's all done secretive. So the gopis speak in the parokshavad way. The in-laws can't know, as we know, Kotila and what's the other one? Kotila and Jatila. They're always suspicious, and there's all so that's what it means here. This is this, and also Lord Chaitanya says as well, as a verse I've been meaning to learn for 25 years. I haven't got around to it yet, but describes that the highest love, or the best places from Vrindavan, the highest love is exhibited by the gopis. So that's why it's said here, rasa can never come to its full bloom other than in the parakya rasa. So this is not the swakiya, it's the parakya, which is the forbidden, unwedded love. Yeah. Okay.
I was thinking of one example. Like I just now thinking of one example. You know, when Radharani is going to go and cook breakfast for Krishna, and she's going on this path, and Krishna is like milking the cow, and he sees corner of his eyes, and then he milks in such a way that the milk goes straight to Radharani's face.
Yeah.
You know, just like, you know, that kind of.
Yeah, that's a wonderful pastime. That.
Yeah, it's like that.
The gopis are coming closer, and Krishna's milking the cow, and he turns the nipple of the cow he's milking, and the stream of fine white milk goes. Can Radharani's covered her face? It goes right through, right into a veil, and she becomes, you know, all shocked, and the gopis become, and then Krishna then slaps the back of the cow he's milking. The cow runs into the bevy, the group of devotees, a group of gopis, and causes complete confusion and chaos. At that time, Krishna runs to Radharani and he embraces her in that confusion. And then he quickly runs, and then Lalita comes and chastises him severely. So yeah, so there are many, that's from Venu Gita. It's very good. Yeah, so for example. All right. No doubt there's exciting pastimes in relation to the gopas, but it doesn't get to this level with the cowherd girls. The intrigue and the plans and the messages and the politics that all goes on in order for Radharani to meet Krishna in a secret. That's, you know. So good. Well, we're all on board where we're going. Okay, at this rate, this last few pages might take 6 or 7. Might take a few classes, so let's push on a bit. Perhaps you should read 2 paragraphs. So another
Okay.
Guy, let's just
Should I
read
continue?
2 paragraphs.
Okay.
Yeah.
2, okay. Shringara Rasa is totally devoid of even an iota of materialism. The transcendental jiva, in order to enjoy and exchange rasa, becomes a transcendental gopi, rendering devotional service to the transcendental personalities of Sri Radha and Sri Krishna in the transcendental realm of Vrindavana. The slightest tinge of the mundane man-woman relationship is non-existent there. Only the purest and most ideal conception of conjugal love is manifest as the transcendental mellow, and knowledge of this is available only from a pure devotee spiritual master. Other than by his grace, this inconceivable truth cannot be discovered. It is beyond the realm of speculation and pedantic scrutiny, and this understanding is extremely rare. Complete perfection remains elusive unless one enthusiastically performs sufficient sadhana to elevate himself from the stage of smarana dasha to apana dasha. The confidential process of apana dasha is ineffable and devoid of any ostentations like jnana, karma, or yoga. Externally, the devotee engages himself fully in chanting the holy name and leads a simple renounced life. Internally, he keeps the splendorous flames of rasa burning with pure intensity all the time. Those sadhakas who are prone to a pompous external display of devotion, or who fail to steadily and properly direct their internal spiritual aspirations, are unable to elevate themselves from the platform of smarana to apana dasha. Thus, the sadhaka may linger unaccomplished through many lifetimes of devotional practice.
Oh. Hare Krishna. So any questions about this?
I remember what you said the other day, like when, how do you say? You know me, I'm not good at explaining, but when you desire to read different, like desire to read different books, you have to make an effort, something like that. Does that make sense in this thing? Like you can be doing smarana, but you have to make that
Yeah,
endeavor.
I think I understand. Yeah. Smarana means remembrance.
Yeah.
So you're going to remember the things you have heard or the things you have read. So unless you're very highly qualified, where the Lord's pastimes are channeling directly into your heart, which is quite unlikely. Smarana means you're going to remember those things you have heard or you have read. And if you haven't heard or read those things, you're not going to remember them. Yeah. So at the stage of smarana, one's sadhana will be specifically to hear about and to know these pastimes, to be able to meditate. Yeah. So I think that's what you mean, isn't it? You have, yeah, you have to read. Just like we just told that little story from the Venu Gita. So someone might do smaran during bhajan and they might be remembering this pastime during their bhajan, you know?
Even the other pastime when Krishna is coming and
Everyone is going to ecstasy now. She's telling all these pastimes. Now go on.
You know, when Radharani is like on top of the house and then she's like, okay, the dust is coming, Krishna will be coming soon.
That's the moon tower. That's
Yeah.
the moon tower specially built for Radharani. That's the moon tower, yeah.
And then she's running down to the sweets she's made to send it to, you know, Nanda Bapa's house, and you know, like that.
Yeah.
You remember things like that, you know.
Yeah. Particularly, that's one of the Vaishnava's favorite smaranas, remembrances. There's 2. There's when Krishna's leaving in the morning, and then when he's returning.
Yeah.
There's so much rasa there. of course, there's a separation from when he's leaving, then when he's returning, there's the expectation of his coming. And the first thing they see is the dust when he's coming back, you know. Then they hear the flute and like, so yeah, so there's an example of that as smaran. So I was frantically searching for the meaning of apanadas here. And I was looking through, I did read it after last week's class. I happened to I looked afterwards and I found it. My Guru Maharaj was speaking of it, but I couldn't find it again. But I just saw before we began reading. So let me just go back, and here it is here. Let's just have a get. So while cultivating these 11 sentiments, 5 stages of consciousness. So Shravandas, that's the state of hearing about, for instance, the pastimes of Krishna, like here. This will be from Ujjvala Nilamani of Rupa Goswami. So you're hearing, then you accept that stage. Varanadas means you become, you accept that what we just described as Swaruchi. That's your attraction. And then Smaranadas. Now within Smaranadas, there's 5 different stages as well. Smarandas, but we won't get time to go into that. There's different stages of being able to recollect for the different amounts of time. And the highest stage of remembrance, can someone tell what the highest stage of remembrance is? Might not get it. It's samadhi. Yeah, samadhi. There's different stages before that where one is able to concentrate for a few seconds. Then one is deeply absorbed. One is so absorbed that one doesn't even know where they are anymore. They don't even remember if that they're on planet Earth. They don't hear anything externally. And that's the stage of samadhi. And then there's stage of application. This is the stage apanadas. Now, I'm speculating here. Apanadas here means the stage of actually engaging in remembrance of one's relationship with Krishna, I think. Then Sampati Das means that's it. You have gone back to Godhead and taken shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Your sojourn in the material world is ended. You've made it back. Okay. So just let's go back where we were. Now I'm probably going to be lost.
Doesn't it? It makes sense. Smarana. So you meditating. Say when you're chanting, you also like all these pastimes come in your head. So you kind of meditating.
Yeah.
And then apana, you kind of applying it. You know.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So where was we reading to? I was scrolling. I always do this. I scroll back pages, then I can't find where we left off. It was here, wasn't it? Yeah, it was here. We was just read these two.
Worship, this path of worship.
Yeah. Okay, so any questions on these 2 paragraphs? Quite, in one sense, relatively quite straightforward. Things we heard before. One's free from Jnana and Karma. Yeah.
I think when we break it down, I mean, not break it down, but once you go into it, you kind of a little bit understand. Yeah.
So here, speaking about the nature of one's bhajan, here it says it keeps the splendorous flames of rasa burning with pure intensity. So that means it's 24 hours a day, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's 24 hours a day. Devotees' heart, even though they may be in the material world, their heart is situated in their relationship with Krishna. They never depart from that. Yeah. So that's what it means here. Yeah. Okay, let's perhaps have someone else like to read.
Anupma's got her hand up.
Yeah, go ahead, Anupma. You can read from here.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This part of, yeah, from here.
Yeah, we'll go 2 paragraphs, then we'll stop.
Okay. This path of worship or bhajana is the simplest, but if the purity of the bhajana is in any way disfigured, by a tinge of the contaminated desires for recognition, distinction, or reverence, then the sadhaka is thrown off the path of Raj sadhana, or bhajana in the mood of Raj. One must approach the spiritual master with simple humility and learn the pure process properly. Here is how perfection is most easily obtained. The jiva is pure spirit soul, part and parcel of the absolute whole. He has a transcendental original form that is all perfect. He has forgotten his perfect spiritual state and come under the clutches of Maya, is offensive to Lord Krishna, and is inebriated with the false mundane designations of his gross body. If by the mercy of a pure devotee spiritual master, he regains knowledge of his actual origin, then the rediscovery of his original identity can quickly be accomplished.
Yeah, just a couple of quick points here. You see this absolutely required mood of utter humility, because even at this stage there is dangers where one may become, for instance, because actually at this stage one's going to be attracting might be attracting attention. So the tendency might be to be distracted by a sense of pride. So there's two books which are very important for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. One book is the Manashiksha by Raghunath Das Goswami. So in this book, Raghunath Das Goswami speaks about this here. And you know, he mentions there some quite explicitly, I think he explains that he explains pride to bathing in donkey urine. In a slow dripping donkey urine. He gets quite he uses quite some adjectives to describe the danger of pride and other things. And that's the Manashiksha. So if you want to develop the mood of humility that's needed for this, or for Bhajan, then Manashiksha is a book you can read. And then a book that follows that is Vilapa Kushmanjali by Raghunath Das Goswami. Okay, so I think Manashiksha, I think, is out there. And there's one book, is it who's a Mataji, famous Mataji in her movement? It's so famous, I forgot her name. Ormala. Ormala Mataji, she writes, she presents a Manashiksha with commentaries from Sachinanda Swami, Shivaram Swami, and others as well. Another book I've been meaning to read for the last 10 years. Haven't got around to it yet. One day. Okay. So can continue unless there's any other questions or comments. Okay, continue over here.
Yeah, there are two methods of sadhana bhakti. One is Vedai, under rules and regulations, and the other is Raganuga, spontaneous. In the beginning, these two methods appear to be contradictory, but upon comprehension of their esoteric purpose, the differences between them are dissolved. The Vedic method of sadhana is a product of spiritual demands and concessions. Raganuga sadhana is born out of an intense attraction for the activities of the residents of Raj. The first method is for the general mass of people, whereas the second is extremely rare and confidential.
Yes, just quickly here, that's why His Holiness Shivaram Swami mentions that within the worldwide ISKCON society, Vaidhi is the manifest practice of everyone. Yeah, but the Raganuga sadhana is an internal thing. It doesn't change should not change or interfere with the preaching method or the preaching ideals or spreading Krishna consciousness. Okay. And there's something else I was going to say here is that, so the means are the ends. That's what it means here. The means in Vaidhi Bhakti is hearing and chanting. And the means and the ends in Raganuga is the same thing. But one is inspired because you've been told to do it, as we know, scriptural demands, and the other is born out of a natural attraction. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, continue, Mother, unless there's any questions on this.
Every mood and thought of the Vede Bhakta during his meditation and remembrance upon Krishna must be cross-checked with spiritual injunctions. Gradually, his Shraddha leads to Nishta, then to Ruchi, taste or attraction, then Asakti, which is attachment. When he reaches the first stage of spontaneity, tinct with bhav, he discards his dependencies. Sorry, I've got something here, my hand's there, so I need to get that out because I can't see the last line. Sorry. Yeah. When he
Discards his dependence upon scriptural logic, knowing it to be an impediment to his progress. After this, he is, okay, elevated to the stage of apanadas. Okay, you can continue from there.
In the Smarnada stage of Raghunuda sadhana, the sadhaka first remembers the 11 sentiments of the gopis. These sentiments must adorn his emotions before he can remember the Asta Kalya Lila. There are 5 levels of development in Smarna Das. Initially, his remembrance will not be steady. This level is called Smarana. Sometimes he remembers the sentiments, his position and his service, but other times he forgets. But by steady practice of Smarna, gradually he reaches permanency of remembrance. This state is known as Dharana. As one meditates on every aspect of the subject of remembrance, part by part, minutely, dharana develops into fixed meditation. This is dhyana. When dhyana becomes continual, it's called anusmriti. Following anusmriti is the 5th level of remembrance. Samadhi, when the devotee has no interest in anything other than perfect absorption in the pastimes of Lord Krishna.
Okay, let's just so here it's being described. I didn't here it's been something I wasn't going to elaborate on, but here it has been elaborated for us. Now these different levels of smaran, these 5 levels of smaran, these can be applied in different ways. For example, someone who's practicing mundane meditation and some type of yogic meditation, and they're not devotees, they will also go through these different stages. You follow? Of being able to concentrate on the object of their meditation. So it's a common, if you look, I mean, I found a nice picture when I was describing this in one class I was doing. The nice picture from a yogi, from a meditation website, which described these different stages of being able to absorb the mind. Because that's the highest principle of yogic practice, beyond the external exercises. The actual ability to absorb the mind is the crown jewel of practice of yoga, and it goes through these different stages till you get to samadhi. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakura is being used in relationship to Krishna consciousness and being used in relationship specifically to one's original relationship to Krishna. So just for your interest, that's what's being described here. Using it in context with one's original spiritual relationship to Krishna. Yeah. Any questions about that? And yeah, the reason I was going to bring that up as well, because, okay, so we're not at the level of Astikaliya Smaranam, which means, as we know, we mentioned the 8-fold pastimes, but you can still have experience with that within our japa. You can go through these different stages. And we should be practicing to come to the stage of samadhi so that we're completely absorbed in Krishna. But before that, so here we may, here the first stage, you can sometimes you remember Krishna and then you forget. Then you become more steady in remembering Krishna. Then it becomes more permanent. And that goes deeper, and it goes deeper and deeper and deeper till it gets to a flow, a effortless flow. That's anusmriti. Then one enters to samadhi. Yeah. Then japa period's over, and you have to do didi greeting. You have to come out of samadhi, and you have to see Krishna. You don't have to. You want to see Krishna. All right, you can continue. So I just want to just scroll quickly forward. Let me just bookmark this a little bit. I want to see how many pages we've got. Okay, what's the time? I think we better, let's just try and, should we just read through these last paragraphs? Actually, I've got an announcement to make at the end. What should we do, Chandravali? Should we not try and rush it, or should we? You're muted.
We're not going to be able to read all that in 10 minutes, are we?
No, we're not. Sorry, I'm kind of slowed things down because I'm commenting on each paragraph, but I think it's...
Everybody, is it okay if we go one more week, everyone?
Yeah, it's okay with me. Anyway, let's just read 2 more pages, 2 more paragraphs, and then we'll stop and make a little announcement. It's a good news announcement. All right. Exciting announcement coming. Right, let me just read these last 2. From the samadhi level of smarandas, the crucial ascension of apanadas, or the stage of application, takes place. For one who is not adept, elevation through the 5 stages of smarandas to apanadas may require many yugas, Krishna, of effort. For a dexterous sadhaka, reaching apanadas is accomplished quickly. Okay, let's quickly look what dexterous means, because we need that one. Having
Also,
skill, especially, so one is very skillfully applying. Yes, Mother.
also, I was thinking, I mean, in previous paragraph, it also said that it may take, a long time to get to this perfection.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't indicate that one life, 16 rounds, 4 regs, and you've got it back to Godhead.
Yeah, but that's so but that, I think we should, but I mean that implies dexterous application and very skillful and very determined. And one is, whenever Prabhupada says chanting, whenever Prabhupada speaks about chanting, he says chanting, one attains perfection. He is meaning, Prabhupada always means chanting without offense. So yes, for sure. If you come to the stage of offenseless chanting, and then, everything, then you will...
Yeah, but if we chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 regular principles and do the other things, will this perfection come from that alone? I mean, will the offenseless chanting come from just chanting 16 rounds? Does it require more, do you think, or what?
Yeah, well, that's what's meant. If you chant 16 rounds without offense, then these things are revealed. Now, so by chanting, then we can perfect our chanting. Yeah, but also it helps for us to be in knowledge of what we do as well, and that's what we're hearing in these readings and discussion. We're becoming knowledgeable of the process, and that gives us a little bit more, that gives us more aptitude to actually applying it with seriousness. So just like Krishna says to his father Nanda Maharaj, that sacrifice which is done without knowledge is not as effective as that done with knowledge. So we can chant 16 rounds, but then we have Prabhupada's made available to us the whole science of pure devotion through his purports. Yeah? Yes. So we want to read about that as well.
Oh yes, definitely. But I find this kind of complicated to understand. Like
it is, yeah.
Apana, like all of this.
Yep, I understand. We don't have to memorize all of this. We don't have to know it. It will happen to us, and we won't even know the names, these are the things, this is just describing what happens in a scientific way.
Okay, so it can happen. I mean, without us
It can, but it generally it's going to happen quicker.
Yes.
So if you have some type, you don't have to understand the whole science of it, but at least you have to have some type of grasp of the tattva of the holy name.
Yes, of course.
Some type of understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I tend to use one sentence in kind of my practice. To the degree we surrender, to that degree we're going to get benefit, you know?
Yeah,
So I kind of use that that slope quite often in my head, you know.
I like that slope as well. I always I mentioned it yesterday. I forgot it. What is it? Anantas Chintayantamam, Yejanapaya Pasate, Tesam Yukdamam, Yogikshim. So in the further answer to a Mother Lavanga's question, yeah, we should try our best to understand the science of bhakti. And that's all we need to do, try our best, and then Krishna will carry the rest.
Yeah? And another thing is like Krishna, he's the one who gives us remembrance and forgetfulness. So we just have to pray that please let me remember your holy name. That's also a slok, isn't it? Yeah, we described that yesterday. What else can we do to increase our meditation? And get on your knees and pray hard. All right. So we got 3 minutes now left. So the quick announcement is kind of not so big, but some of you may or may not know, but our what's called, you heard of bomb? You heard of the bomb? You heard of a bomb? Board of mentors. That's the board of mentors, and that's a system where those who want to get initiated, they have to go through the system, and it's been in place for a few years. That's being changed and that's being also not overruled is the right word, but it's all being changed, and there's a new system called the BAM. This is under Doi Mahaprabhu's direction, so I think we'll be hearing more of the details about that, where the process of getting initiated and the recommendations is going to change. It's not going to go through the board of mentors. Each mentor will have the responsibility, and they can themselves put their mentors forward for initiation without it having to go through the BOM. All right. So more responsibility has been given to the mentors in that regard. And in regards to the second initiation, Prabhupada required devotees, he wanted devotees, as you know, to do back to Sastri. That's what devotees do, they do back to Sastri. Some spiritual masters ask for it, some don't, some temples ask for it. We require it. Prabhupada wanted it. There's letters there. Prabhupada wrote 1974 about all devotees want to take second initiation. We'll go through back to Sastri. Now, the back to Sastri as it stands at the moment means you have to go away somewhere for 6 months, 4 months, or you do it every week on a Sunday at a temple. It takes a year. So in our group here, we have gone through Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Ishopanishad, and we've done a major study on Srila Bhakti Chintamani, and also doing a major study on another intensive book. And we've done other books as well. We're going to be doing Bhagavad Gita. So the good news is that based on this alone, based on your taking part in these classes, you can get put forward for second initiation. Hari Bol. So for those who already have it, it doesn't mean much.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. So this counts as like, and we're going to be starting Bhagavad Gita soon as well. And actually the study we've done, for instance, on the Nectar Devotion is more intensive than the one in Bhakti Sastri. Although Prabhupada said Bhakti Sastri only needs chapters 1 to 19, but we've done every chapter. So I spoke to Adoy Mahaprabhu and Radharaman, and they said, yes, it's fine. So then for those. And the good news, so I think Mother Gaia is with us, or others, she's probably not the first yet. That was her first initiation, you've been taking part in these classes. Then you can get put forward. You just have to bribe Mother Chandravali to put you forward.
Oh, Mother, that's a
Okay.
good.
Hey, I was waiting for you, Niktamata. You'll be wanting your second.
Yes, Mother.
Yeah.
So that's because you're going to get some inquiries now.
I
Can I ask to check about the mentors, if I understood you correctly?
Yeah,
So
go on.
it means I shall contact directly Guru to promote, to ask for aspiration for
No, you
aspiring.
still have to go for you have to go for the temple president.
Ah, thank you.
So you have to go for at least the temple president and say that, and then see, at the moment it's moving from one system to the other. So there's a bit of confusion going on.
That's okay.
We're
That's
trying to make it unconfused. So so if you want to put someone forward, you can just go to Doyamora Prabhu straight, and based on your recommendation, then he will then say yes or no. It will not go through the board of mentors.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, as I do usually. That's what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
And there's no need, like in the board of mentors, one of the sticking points it was because everyone had to tick the sadhana charts, all had to be there, and la 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 la. And that caused a bit of for some it worked, and for some it didn't. So, for instance, you don't have to produce sadhana charts. It's just going to be based on your word. That this devotee, I feel, so I feel this person is qualified for first initiation. And you're not going to be asked to produce a sadhana chart with all the ticks. All right. I think it's quite exciting. I have a few questions about it as well.
I have a question, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay. There's a
Prabhu,
big discussion going on now. So, like those who want to stay with us for this, they can. If you need to do something else, that's fine. You can leave now. Thank you for joining us. But okay, go ahead, Mother.
Prabhu, my Guru Maharaj was saying second initiation is full Bhakti Shastri. So,
Yeah,
oh, so what will happen to me, Prabhu? Because I
you have to
felt,
follow your guru's order.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
yeah, but then again, he says another time, he says, if the temple, like, if it comes from the temple, yes, he won't.
Yeah, so so therefore that's an example where based on the authority of Doyamora Prabhu, you're being put forward because you have studied these books. You have been studying these Bhakti Sastri books. Now, what's good in one sense, good or bad, you could say there's different takes on this because there's no test. You don't have to do slokas unless we could bring them in here. Test your own slokas.
Yes,
So,
please.
Because I remember he said this facility, the temple person to me, he said the temple president is saying, I won't come in between, saying, no, no, no. He said that.
yeah, so which group are you in, Mother Nitai Mata? Are you in Chandravali's group officially, or?
Yeah, Mother, you have to speak, Mother, now.
What are you in? Whose group are you? You answer to Murli Prabhu.
I am in Mother Chandravali's group.
Okay, so then Mother Chandravali, based on your relationship and based on, you've been seeing her presence, you can go to Doyamora and you can say here's an example. Nitai Mata, she's been attending these classes for 2 years or so. We've done this and that. I would like to put her forward for second initiation.
Please, Mother. This is a gift for me on
Yeah.
Purnima, I think.
Because it's a bit strange in one sense, because we've been doing this study over 2 years, and then if you want second, you have to do Bhakti Sastri for like a year and study all the books that we have already studied together. And we've read every word of these books. We're not just doing an overview, because that's what Bhakti Sastri is, an overview of these books.
Yeah. This is going to be very much a gift for me for Balram Purnima.
But you've got a Bhagavad Gita yet. We haven't done that.
Yeah, so well, that's up to Chandravali. See, you've done these other books as well.
You are making difficult for me now.
So I'll leave it with you to sort out.
Prabhu, I just wanted to ask something else. Would be possible to make something like a retreat or just meeting for mentors to discuss the matters and maybe to experience?
This transition. So it would be what I suggest you do. I was doing my best to prompt Doya Mahaprabhu to try and communicate this to us, and not just to the mentors, but to the congregation as well. Because at the moment, all the congregation knows they have to get in a group in order to get, so they're trying to, and there's not many groups to get into. That's been a problem as well. So I would suggest you can mention this discussion that we had, and please mention that I'm praising the system. Otherwise, I get in trouble. I don't. Yeah, but mention it to do it more and say, will it be good to have some? I say you heard about this. It sounds very encouraging, and could you tell me more about it? And he'll tell you. Actually, he's at the moment because on our Board of Mentors WhatsApp, he's sent a little synopsis of it, but more details he didn't give. He said he's going to write more details. So perhaps you can. Yeah. So there, example. So you should speak to him directly. I suggest, Mother, and say we had this discussion.
Oh, I don't want to disturb him because I haven't seen him for some time. I was concerned if everything is all right with him. So I texted him, Prabhu, are you okay? He said, yeah, just busy. So I feel that I don't want to annoy him.
He's here. It's important for you to contact him because you're someone who's looking out for and guiding devotees. So you should know what these changes are and be aware of them. So it's good for you to keep on bang on his door, ask about it, He's around. He's around.
Yeah. Because I know that before lockdowns, Niranjana Swami was organizing special retreats in Russia or somewhere, the mentors gathering and they sharing good experience, anything, they supporting each other, discussing.
I see.
So I was thinking, would it be possible to make something in here, just for the mentors to know each other, to discuss, to talk something?
Yeah, that would be. You can mention that we used to have regular meetings as a board of mentors, but due to various reasons, the meetings, well, COVID was one reason, but other reasons as well, they haven't been started up again. So that's something we're all missing. There's various reasons why that has happened. So you might want to bring that up to Doya Mahaprabhu. Be good if we could meet. It'd be good if we could meet and we could discuss this change from bomb. The bomb has exploded.
Thank you very much. Because I feel it needed support, some discussion or something.
So I suggest you reach out to him.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Any more questions on this?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Dharmat is very happy. Okay.
I know.
So sorry?
Leave me alone.
Okay, she's given you a case. All right, so let's stop there now. And tomorrow, please join us for Brihat Bhagavatamrita, the continued journey of Narada Muni, meeting these wonderful ecstatic devotees. Okay, thank you for joining us, everyone. Wish you all the best. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Nam Bhavani Vaishnavyo Namo